Karen, thank you for sitting down with me. Brian Pritchard, FetchYourNews.com. Well, you started out, we're here today at the Pickens County Republican Tomato Sandwich Picnic, which we all enjoy tomato sandwiches. And you started out, and I want you to elaborate on this a little bit. I think everybody knows it, but I've heard you speak a couple times, and it sounds like your theme might be Washington's broken. And you say that Washington's broken. Everybody knows.
What made you think that?
Well, I've heard you say it, but talk to me about...
Washington is broken. We have a serious governing problem with an inability to get virtually anything done. There's a kick the can down the road mentality to get to the next election. We have real problems that we need to begin acting on now, not because we want to get reelected, but because it is the right thing to do for America and the future of this country. Deal with the deficit, roll back the size and scope of federal government. Federal government was always intended to be limited and fiscally responsible, and we are so far away from both of those basic principles, farther than I've ever seen, certainly in my lifetime.
Okay. All right, you named a couple, but Washington is broken. We hear a lot of candidates from many races throughout this country. Washington is broken. But specifically, what are the first steps that we take? What are the first steps that we take? What is Senator Karen Handel do first? And I know you would be one senator in a group, but what are the steps we take?
Well, I think first and foremost, we need to move forward with beginning to restore some trust from the American people in our government. So being an individual of integrity, being an individual who is going to be straightforward and honest with the people who are electing, an individual who is going to communicate and have a back and forth relationship with the people of Georgia. That's number one. Number two, the budget and the deficit are two of the most pressing issues facing the country. So we're coming up with a serious plan. It won't be easy, but a serious plan to reduce the deficit. And it's a balanced budget amendment. I believe strongly that we must press now to get that done, so that we do not find ourselves in this place ever again.
Okay, I asked you, I want to ask this way, and the other candidates have ratings on conservative voting records, and let me say it like that because they do. And what way would you best convey to the voters you're conservative? What way?
My record speaks for itself. As Fulton County Commission Chairman, I came into a $100 million budget deficit and a proposed 3-month tax increase. My team and I sat in my basement and rewrote that budget to balance it in a common sense way, prioritize the programs to the best interest of people of Fulton County, and we delivered a budget that was balanced without a tax increase, and we did it every year. My record in the Secretary of State's office, I reduced the size and scope, reducing it by 20%, while also streamlining programs and processes so that we could better serve the people of the state. And let me just say this about the ratings. The other members of Congressmen running in this race combined, they have nearly 40 years of service in Georgia. I have respect for each and every one, but combined 40 years, the ratings only say so much. The real issue is what are the results, and the fact is that Republicans and Democrats alike have contributed to bringing our country to this place where we are today, and it is time to do things differently in Washington. The only way to do it differently is to have new and different leaders who come there who will not be Washingtonized and who will not be marginalized.
Well, let me ask you, you brought it up, I'm glad you did, when you say Republicans and Democrats alike. Okay, well, how are you going to handle if the Democrats maintain majority, how are you going to handle dealing in your own party with the moderates? John McCain, these moderate Republicans, how do you best combat that?
The same way I combated that side of the aisle and side of the issue when I was Fulton County Commission Chairman. I have my convictions. I'm there to represent the people of Georgia and to do what is in the best interest of my country. I am not there to ingratiate myself to the Washington.
I asked this of one of the other candidates, so I want to ask this the best I can to say. Senator Rubio, and the reason I ask it, it has hypothetical to it, but Senator Rubio ran as a strong conservative. He was a Tea Party favorite in Florida, and when he was running for Senate, very strong convictions. I remember his speeches, I think he had Tea Party favorite. So recently here, he's getting a little backlash with compromise. So hypothetical, if you run as conservative, and I don't want to label you in any way.
Well, I am a conservative, so that's
but no,
okay.
I didn't mean that. But if you run as conservative Karen Handel, how are you going to convince the voters that a year later, once up there, you're not going to join a gang of eight like Senator Chambliss is doing? I mean, just talk.
I have my word and my track record of being a leader with integrity, and I think that will speak volumes. Secondly, I'm not going to make a judgment around Senator Rubio and all of those things. What I will say is this: when I am the next United States Senator, I am going to remember that I am accountable to the people of Georgia and accountable to doing what's in the best interest of this country. And if I fail to meet that obligation, I'm going to expect to hear from the people of this state, and they need to boot me right out of office. And the last point on that is there is a very different definition. It's very different to negotiate for progress versus compromising on its principles. And in my view, the immigration bill, by allowing what is, no one wants to say it in terms of amnesty, but there is a component of it that's amnesty, we should say it like it is, that is a compromising of principles. There are ways to advance that immigration reform by negotiating for progress. Instead of one giant bill, let's tackle each of the issues separately and gain agreement around those where we can. Most Americans understand that we need to have border control. So let's concentrate on that and have border control proposals with some real measures so that we can make sure that the money we're investing is actually doing something and begin to restore some trust for the American people when we begin to instill a brand of trust that will open up the door to be able to more opportunities for more profits.
As Secretary of State of the state of Georgia, the voter ID, photo ID for voters law. Let me push this. In recent NSA scandal, what would you do there? I mean, what Senator, and I don't want to quote him, Senator Chambliss said something a week ago. Well, we've been doing this for years. This has been going on for years.
I'm not sure that's an explanation. Well, first of all, I can assure you that if I have the privilege of being a United States Senator, I'm going to be up there to do my job, and that means attending the briefing on important issues such as that program, which the NSA did offer a briefing on that, and any number of individuals, members of Congress, did not attend the briefing. Secondly, it was, I believe, Benjamin Franklin, so many years ago, warned us, cautioned us about that slippery slope of giving up our freedoms in exchange for security. That's always a fine balance that we have to try to strike when we're in a leadership role. And I would submit that we crossed over that a little bit. And we should never want to infringe upon our freedoms in this country for the sake of security, as Benjamin Franklin said. We would like to end up with either.
What scandal at this time do you think is the worst scandal? I mean, they're all bad, but
it's hard to force rank them, isn't it? I don't think that we know, have been scratched the surface on what really happened with Pickens. And certainly we need to have answers there. The IRS is clearly an outrage, and beyond having answers there, we need to leverage that outrage in order to really drive real tax reform. This is the opportunity to get tax reform. We let this pass us by. that would really be a disservice to the American people.
One more thing, I appreciate it. We've gone around several subjects, but I've enjoyed the conversation.
Oh, you've been terrific.
I want to ask one more thing. If Senator, would you ask for Eric Holder's resignation?
Absolutely. In fact, I think that some of his activities should be investigated. It's interesting. A year and a half ago, I made a speech, and my speech was the parallels between the Obama administration and the Nixon administration. And we know what happened with the Nixon administration, and arguably circumventing the legislative branch through executive orders and using the power and the leverage of the Department of Justice in the way that it has been trumps and far exceeds what happened in the Nixon administration.
Karen, I appreciate it very much.
Thank you
And we
so
wish you well